You have read the book of Robert Kiyosaki. He says, don't work for money, work to learn. It's not enough to have vision. It's not enough to have courage, but you need to support it with action. And part of this action is going through mentorship, or what you can call apprenticeship. So I did apprenticeship, worked for 6 years with no pay. My uncle clothed me and fed me. In 1976, he gave me 200 Naira. 200 Naira wasn't too much of a big money, but call it about 380 United States dollar. My senior brother was with me. In his own mindset, it was too small. He said, let's leave this and let's go. I turned to him and said, do you have anyone to give me when we get home? He says, no. So I said, why are you asking me to leave this? But we team up and create a company we call Maduka Brothers, myself and him. Within 6 months, we started differing in ideology, because I have an idea what I need to do to be able to unlock wealth. I have been trained. My mother has supported my senior brother to go to school, because in my culture, the first son is like more important. Every other person is like second cousin in the family. So everything my mother had, he uses it to focus to train his first son. But the university I went, University of Automobiles, selling auto component, for me is the best school anybody can go. Because this school will teach you unprecedented discipline, which you require to be successful in life. It is called apprenticeship, and I will recommend it to any young man or woman who plan to go places in life. I've never seen anybody that successfully finished apprenticeship in 6 years that were not successful. Because you will learn many things they teach in university, but in a formal way. We learn about accountancy, we learn about purchase, we learn about inventory management. In informal way, we did research, not the way they do in university, in informal way. But all of these are what you need to set you up. Average young man who want to start business, ask him what is important. He say capital. If you give me 10 million, if you give me 100 million, if I have 1 billion. If you ask me, I will tell you that capital do not play more than 35, maximum 40% equation of being successful in business. Mindset comes first. Knowing what to do comes second. There are many things. Capital is the least. I wrote 5 things I want to accomplish by the age of 25. When you say you have a vision and you don't write it down, it's a wish you have. Colin Powell, the 42nd Secretary of State of the United States of America, said a dream without plan is a wish. So I had plan of where I want to be in life. And I wrote down at 18 years, I want to live in 3 bedrooms apartment of my own. By 20 years, I want to take a lady to altar as my wife. By 21, I want to have a male child, a boy. By 23, I want to own a car of my own. And by 25, I want to be a millionaire. These are not dreams in my head. They were dreams in my head, but I put them down to hold myself accountable over them, because I have to come back each year to find out where am I versus those things that I put down. But it's important you have plan. You must have plan. The worst thing that happened to you is to live life and accept everything life throws at you. I will explain to you the place of vision as I continue on this story that I'm telling you. Because I worked hard. I wanted a child. The thing husband did to their wife, I did to my wife. I wanted a child at 21. But God knew that these 2 babies cannot be making baby. So he closed the womb so we can get our acts together. At the age of 22, I passed Old Oka Road at Onisha, Mandela's building. I saw a Passat car with 3,000 kilometers, and I negotiated it. And before 23, I own a car. It was not my father's car. Nobody had had a car in my entire family. I was the first person that bought a car. I own a car. I want you to understand the place of this vision. I pursue my other dream from then on was to be a millionaire at the age of 25. I broke it by 1 year. By the grace of God, I met my first 2 million United States dollar at the age of 24. Yes. The rest is history. Forbes Africa carried me on their first page as a man who turned $1 into 500 million United States of dollars. Where do you see possibility stop? It's only stop in your mind because it does not exist. How could this young boy without a formal education, didn't even have capital to start? I separated with my senior brother by 3rd month after we have joined together because we are differing in ideology. I couldn't hire any staff to help me. I became the managing and damaging director of my company. I was the forwarding and backward agent, the accountant general, the whatever you may think about it, to be able to build capital. I worked tirelessly, defer my gratification, plow back every income back into the business. You need to live with a discipline that is not common. It's not people that I meet on the road that determine who I am. Those 5 things I told you I wrote down every morning when I get up, I look at them from beginning to the end. That will be the last thing I will do before I go out. And if I come back in the evening after my prayer, the last thing I do before I sleep is go back and look at those places to remind me where I'm going. So when I am in my bed, I start dreaming like somebody said, I think somebody said, yes, your son said you are counting money. In my dream, I saw myself in Japan, meeting the Japanese, moving containers with no capital of 10,000 Naira. The things you look at that you dominate your spirit are the things that comes to you in a dream. What I was looking at is what I saw in my dream. So when I go out on the street, somebody is talking to me, he doesn't know the way my mind is working, I will take you and put you into those 5 things I want to do. If there is no place you support that vision, I cut you off. And people say he's too proud, he's too arrogant. No, because I have a vision, I have a clear sense of direction. Because in real life, people who are going nowhere are the first people that tell you, let us go. Ask them, where are we going? They are taking a stroll. Any road can take you to anywhere if you don't have clear sense of direction where you want to be. So how did we build Coscharis? From that, I venture into importation. It doesn't mean you are not going to get challenged. The first capital I have, I lost it. So if you want to think things are worse to you, running bankruptcy, I have run bankruptcy. Because I owe landlord I could not pay, and I'm married. So God had helped us, we didn't have a child because it would have been more complicated. So we manage ourselves. My wife does her certificate, got a job where they are paying her 85 Naira. I work so hard. Everything is business. When life throws challenge to you, it depends on how you responded. All these stories I told you, I started again building Coscharis. And then I draw a vision when I decided to begin to hire people who had gone to school, who have what I do not have. Because they are important, they required it. But what you bring as an entrepreneur is your dogged determination, your core knowledge into what you want to do, to make a believer out of these people who have gone to school and be trained on what to do. So I drew the vision to say, to build an institution that will be timeless in its relevancy and value. That is the vision of Coscharis. The mission statement, how we are going to attain this, I said Coscharis will produce excellent product and services to their customers, giving them the highest value for their money, and will plow resources back into society by creating value and creating a sense of pride in its employees, waxing strong and bigger into the future. I hired people who took higher salary from what I'm paying myself to be able to join me, because they are experts and they could not work for me if I insist to pay them a peanut. But I didn't go for them when I didn't have the money. The goal is to see it is a journey, it's like a voyage. You see the end, but all the route that will take you there may not be clear to you. But it's a process, it's not an event. You keep your eyes on the big picture. That goal, you vision where you need to be. BMW signed us on in 1998. We've been with them for over 25 years. If you keep a proper system and processes in a place, it will attract investment and capital will follow it. If you run after money, money will run away from you. But if you create the system and offer service, money will follow you. And that's what we did. The rule of corporate governance helped us to put ourselves in check and do the right thing that is required. When we made the first building we made in Victoria, and people were asking, what is this company doing? Because we are sponsoring table tennis, and people say that company that play table tennis. No. Our business was not table tennis. We keep cars on the road. If any of you here own a car, you are my customer. My business is pharmaceutical of automobile. It doesn't matter which brand you are driving. You cannot drive your car 1 year without Coscharis shopping your money. If our plug is not in your car, our engine oil will be in your car, or our body filler will be in your car, or you will paint your car with our car. Two companies that manufacture paint worldwide will represent them in Nigeria. So, when you create one success, it ignites like fire. It gets into the other. When we now laid off those staff and begin to now bring experts, KPMG could hire somebody for us to fulfill. When we had a plan to be $1 billion company, we called them to say, this is where we want to be, and tell us what we need to do to get to this place. They said, you have to make a change here. Just like you told the other lady, you have to make a change here. This has to be, we said, hire us somebody. Today, we're able to attract people from the oil industry, from the banking industry. With my elementary 3 degree, I have 5 PhD people working for me today. So, but they bring new ideas, all the things they've learned in the university, how to apply them to be able to move a company forward and get it to the level that it's supposed to be. So, today we run business in Ghana, in Gabon, in Ivory Coast, in Sierra Leone, and 2 years ago we acquired a company in Japan. So we are really multinational organization.